On EA Sports. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Now the rookie fourth-round pick. This is Dameon Pierce. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. And some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That good for 22 and a first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Newton's throw caught by Bird here. He's got room at the 30. Down the left sideline. Touchdown, Houston. Damiere Byrd, his second touchdown on the season. And the Texans get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. First and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 25-yard line. Here's Wilson. He's got his 6'5 receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now it's Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Broncos had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Wilson being chased out left. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Christian Harris. And the Texans are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as he'll be marked down a yard or two past the marker following a gain of 6.
That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football. All right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. After the run, Newton going to throw. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
On 2nd down, here's Pierce.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Pierce will try to pick it up.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
This ball caught by Mechie.
And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. He got 29 yards that time.
They run here with Singletary.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown.
Devin Singletary, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Texans are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
From the shotgun, Wilson rolling to his right. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
On 3rd down, Wilson.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Pierce.
And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. They'll run here with Pierce.
And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans.
Dameon Pierce, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Texans have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 21-0.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.
Derek Stingley picks it.
And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the 2nd quarter.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big, this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, this defense for the Texans, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
It'll go as a gain of 4. And just like that, it's 3rd down. We are in for a good one as we're through 1 on EA Sports. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Patrick.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
On 2nd down, Williams. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Wilson. He completes this to Sutton.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
2 minutes gone by, second quarter. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29.
It's the former Michigan man, Chase Winovich, who gets in there to bring him down.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They go play action now. Wilson, he'll buy some time, and he's going to go down again. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third.
It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack.
Back to throw. Wilson. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And this Texans defense stands tall. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
They'll take it past the 40 to the 41, 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They fake the give. Newton. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Flush to his right. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Now, that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Flushed out right. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. A good down to possibly take a shot, and in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on 2nd and inches.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw taken in by Sutton. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
The kick by McManus is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Bird. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's 2nd down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now it's Newton. Looking here for Smith downfield. And got his man complete. Touchdown, Houston.
Jeff Smith.
As the first half is winding down.
And the Texans will extend their lead here just before halftime.
Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Sliding out of the pocket. Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep over the middle. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
And, Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. As confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Taken in at the 22. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
Off play action. Newton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
He sets to fire deep.
That went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. And returning it, here's Hamler.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Blesson Austin. And the Texans are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And, Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what we're seeing from this group.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Broncos are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. But with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of...
And my goodness, another interception.
And the Texans are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
60 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
47's the mic.
1st down, they go right back to Pierce.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Switch. Check 8.
A shotgun snap for Newton. And this one is incomplete. But one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
No, I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow themselves down.
And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Here's Newton. He's got Smith here. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it'll be fourth down. They snap it to Newton.
Goes right back to Smith again.
And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on fourth. And the Broncos will take over on downs. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a third and 2 more.
Well, that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. Second and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a third down.
Eluding the pressure right.
Got a man complete. It's Hamler.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
On 2nd and 9. Wilson forced out to his left. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But it looked like, fortunately, the Broncos able to recover.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
Here's Wilson to throw. And now here is another interception.
And the Texans are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Touchdown, Houston. Damiere Byrd, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year.
And the Texans are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. So that's going to be a nice one for the passing stats, and that's how it will go down in the stat sheet. But the success of that play, no doubt, all thanks to the talents of the wideout.
Oh, he was definitely the recipient of good blocking as well, especially at the line of scrimmage. And once he got around the corner, you got the sense that no one was going to get him. Really nice ball handling, too, in order to get it to him.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's Wilson.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's fourth down.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. This is taken at the 18. Touchdown. Well, he covered a lot of ground, 82 yards on the punt return.
And the Texans are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but
my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward.
And the Texans are going to take possession of the football.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The drive will start with an option going left.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the fourth.
Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Here's Pierce. Will take this one in for a Texans touchdown. So how about this start to a year? Fantasy owners take note. 2 rushing touchdowns in the opener. 2 more here in week 2.
So a nice pickup by 2 entities. 1, this team for making sure they acquired this guy. And 2, anyone who plays fantasy who has him on their team.
Fairbairn good with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson.
Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Throwing is Wilson. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down. Here's Riley Dixon now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And taken right at the 35. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return.
And the Texans will take over.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter.
And that they have in every way, and plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Titus Howard, right tackle, the man flagged for that one. Option play, and it's a handoff to Pierce.
And a solid run down inside the 30.
85 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now it's Wilson. out to his left.
This one complete to Jerry Jeudy.
And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Now Wilson on first down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Sheldon Rankins in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. To throw is Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And now here is another interception.
Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in. Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
On 3rd down, here's Pierce.
And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum.
And my goodness, another interception.
Derek Stingley picks it, and the Texans are going to take possession of the football.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. It's going to be a jet sweep. Newton bats it forward. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every